Hey guys, this is David Wynn with the Mortgage Edge podcast, brought to you by Click and Close Mortgage. Today, what a day. I got a very special lady from San Antonio, Texas, Courtenay Allison. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Well, welcome to the show, superstar.
Thanks for
We
having
know you're a realtor. We know you're in San Antonio. We know if you're on my show or this show, we know you're a top producer, but let's get to know you a little bit. How long have you been a realtor? What's your background?
I have been in real estate for about 6.5 years. My background is all customer service and sales. I've done a lot of restaurant industry work for a long time, a little bit of telephone sales after that, and then straight into real estate. I represent both buyers and sellers. I've been an investor myself. Just kind of the full gamut, I guess, of all the different aspects of real estate. And yeah, we now own a bar, so trying that avenue too, and just trying to juggle it all.
Man, you wear a lot of hats. So
Yeah.
let's unpack that a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about the uh food services industry or whatever. I was in it for 10 years, hospitality business. It's it's long hours, but you know what? It defines you. People that come from the hospitality business knows how to work, right?
Yeah.
How many does anybody, unless you work in the hospitality business, you don't know what a double is,
Yeah.
or, or working all weekend or whatever. So I I love that. I love that you have that background, and now you own a bar.
Yeah.
I understand that you and your boyfriend just bought that bar, and now you're running that on top of your real estate business.
Yeah. So we opened the Friday before Christmas, so it hasn't been very long, but it's been fun. It's been exciting. Definitely the restaurant industry kind of gears you for customer service, long hours, working well under pressure, being able to like juggle different things, multiple things at the same time, being a problem solver. You're always gonna have to deal with, people that get upset in every industry. So lots of experience with all of the above,
Well,
juggling and yeah.
that's awesome. So what made you get into real estate from
Uh,
from from a previous life?
So we wanted to be in the investment world for a really long time. We didn't really know how to or what to do. And so I just was like, well, let me get my license and we can just figure it out. We bought a couple of houses, flipped them, sold them, kept some as rentals. And it just kind of went from there. I didn't really realize that you didn't have to have a license to to be an investor. So we were just like, well, let's just do this and figure it out along as we go. And so that's kind of what started the whole journey.
Yeah.
And then I kind of stepped away from the investing side of things and let him keep doing that. And I, you know, focus more on helping clients buy and sell, giving them my experience with being an investor, learning the hard way, making mistakes, and learning those rough lessons as we go. So it's not something that I personally do much anymore of, but it definitely helped me figure out how to vet a good contractor and, when I'm walking houses, oh, is this done properly or is this kind of like, maybe done by the homeowners themselves? And I kind of have an eye for that now because I've tried to lay tile, spray sheetrock, like, do all the things that I can do without being the GC on the job. And so I see that stuff and I can see like patches in houses. I can see when work is done. Well, I consider sheetrock to be an art because I've tried it myself and I know how hard it is. And so yeah, I think it's been pretty beneficial for me, just kind of like putting my feet to the fire with investments at the jump of things. And then it helps me with my both buyers and sellers now to
Well,
go
hold on a
off it.
second. Let's unpack that for a second. What a valuable tool. You have an eye for it because you're an investor. Not a lot of realtors can come in and see, hey, this was patched up right here, or hey, this was patched up, but they did it themselves. It wasn't done by a professional. You might want to keep an eye on this. I mean, it is the largest purchase of their life, whether they're buying or selling or whatever. So, having someone like you in your corner, no wonder you're so successful. No wonder that you're doing so many great things. Well, let's talk a little bit about, 6 years in the business. You've done kind of well, and not kind of, really well year over year and stuff like that. How are you getting your leads these days? Because there's a lot of people that are struggling. There's people that's been in the business 20 years that aren't doing what you're doing. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, a big portion of my leads do come through the company. I actually don't even know how many lead sources we're a part of, but a big portion of the clients that I get, we actually meet on the internet. So Zillow, Realtor, people that have called just our brokerage number from for sale
Okay.
signs, our website, things like that. And so then also, meeting those people, they recommend me to their friends, their family, their coworkers, and things like that. But I would say a good chunk of my business actually comes from the internet.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, it sounds like, hey, you know what the secret sauce is? Find a broker that provides leads.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you've been doing this 6 years, so you got kind of started. Was it COVID year, 2020
No,
or
it
2019,
was 2018.
2018? And obviously you went through the COVID situation. I mean, the real estate market's been crazy.
Mhm.
The last couple years has been kind of, I call it traumatic or traumatic in our real estate business, and it's really traumatic now with all the tariffs and stuff like that. But people are still buying houses, right? People are still selling houses. Let's talk about that for those people that aren't in the business.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be people who get a new job or maybe they have to relocate for the military. There's a lot of military in San Antonio. So people coming and going from the military, maybe they had a child and they need a bigger house or whatever the case may be, death, divorce, all the things. So we've found that I mean, in my experience the last couple of years, yes, it's been more challenging to find something that a buyer can afford that they like. Their purchase power or their buying power has gotten to be a little bit more challenging. But as far as people out there that need to buy a house or sell a house, I haven't personally seen that much of a decrease. It's just figuring out how to make the situation work for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, and like you said, people are always going to buy and sell real estate. You know what? And one group of people that always buys and sell, investors, and that's what you are. And so they're always looking for a good deal in either an up market or a down market or whatever. Tell me this. So 6 years in the business, thus far during your professional career as a realtor, what's that one achievement or moment that you're really proud of? That can you think of a transaction that go back in time and say, man, this made me feel really good. This is why I'm going to be a realtor forever. Or I assume you're going to be a realtor forever because you're so good at it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that every client has taught me something or brought value to my business in some way or another. There's definitely clients that I will have as a friend forever. Those I think probably mean the most to me. You spend a lot of time out with clients when you're shopping for homes. There's very rarely a client that finds a house in the first like two or three houses that you see, right? You're going to be with those clients for hours on end for, months, 2 months, 3 months. I worked with a buyer. They were a buyer and a seller, and we worked together for probably a year.
Holy
Our
cow.
Yeah, our families had a lot in common, blended families, lots of children, lots of moving parts, right? And so it was really fun to go out with them and the kids and everything like that. And that was one of the biggest, I guess, learning experiences for me. It was
Hmm.
early on in my career. It was my first manufactured home sale. There was probably, I think it might be my only client that was involved in a lawsuit during the process, battling a lot of different hurdles. So it was probably the one that I'll remember forever, but because we talked on the phone almost every single day for a year, once it was done, I was like, I'm gonna miss you, and so now
Yeah.
we meet up and we go to lunch and it's been a while. I should probably call her, but I think that that's probably the one that stands out the most. But every situation, every transaction, everybody teaches you something along the way. So it's just picking those pieces, like the good pieces, and putting them in your Easter basket and letting the bad ones fall out as you fill it up with good ones.
Absolutely, absolutely. What so are you, I didn't ask. I know you live in San Antonio now, but are you from San Antonio?
No, not originally. I was born in San Antonio in a hospital somewhere here in town. I grew up in Bernie, which is just a suburb of San Antonio,
Hmm.
and then I lived there until high school, and I did high school in Wimberley, so that's a suburb of Austin. So I just tell people I'm from the hill country, small towns here and there, you know. Moved around a lot after college, and this ended up back here.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about that family life a little bit. You alluded to something. You said you're a blended family with your boyfriend. What's that family life look like?
Yeah, so my own personal family with my mom, my sister, my dad, my step brother and stepsister, we're blended. My boyfriend has 7 kids, so there's a lot of moving parts in our family as well. I know that we're not married, but they're my family, and yeah, so always been a blended family. Came from a blended family. I'm part of a blended family now. Lots of moving parts, but it keeps things really fun, keeps you on your toes, never a dull moment. Holidays are a blast. There's a lot of people. So yeah, it's been a good time.
I Wow. That so a blended family with 7 kids, run a bar, run a successful real estate company. Courtney, there's only 24 hours in a day. When do you sleep?
From about 3 in the morning until about 9 in the morning. Not every
Wow.
day, but yeah, the late nights I just make it happen. You know,
I
it's
got
not
you.
going to
I
be
got you.
like this forever. And this is the beginning of the business. This is us getting our feet off of the ground. We do have a great staff, so there's parts of the day where I can get in and out of there. But yeah, it's just we're just figuring out as we go and sleeping when we can and making it happen.
Does he run the bar also, or is that all you?
No, no, no. He's there pretty much all the time, and I'm in and out of there too. Like I'll go in and get things set up, and then make sure that my staff is good to go, and then I'll leave and go on showings or listing appointments or closings or inspections. Like get out of there, and then sometimes I'll come back and help at night. And there are days where I don't have to close the bar, and I'm not there at night, and so that's when I get more sleep.
What fr Obviously real estate is hills and valleys. What frustrates you the most about real estate business?
Frustrates me the most. Mm.
Because you're such a happy-go-lucky person. It doesn't seem like you would ever be upset about anything.
No, I definitely get upset about things. I don't know. I think it's hard when you just can't find something that they're looking for. Like if the inventory is just not there, it's been frustrating. I mean, I'm sure everybody's been frustrated trying to get a hold of somebody, trying to get a hold of somebody, and then they finally answer the phone and they're like, "Oh yeah, we accepted an offer and now we're under contract." And I'm like, "Oh, we were trying to get a hold of you. We wanted to throw our name in the ring too, you know." Um, but there's just control the controllables, and I probably am harder on myself than anything else. So I probably just am adding more frustration to me because I just want to do a good job. But you know, after a while, you just kind of get used to the fact that things aren't always going to go your way, and you just figure it out. But I had some clients that were getting, pretty down because things were moving faster than they were expecting, as far as like listings going under contract faster than they were expecting. Because right now it's you kind of see houses that have been sitting on the market for a really long time
Yeah.
or going really fast. There isn't really a middle ground. And so you either, make a move really, really quickly, or you kind of pick from the ones that have been sitting on the market for a while and maybe you can get a deal. And so they're kind of frustrated because the good ones do go fast. And that's kind of been consistent in town, even when we've had some slumps, the good ones go fast. And so they're like, man, I just don't know if I can take any more disappointment. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. I've been doing this for a really long time. there's going to be houses that we don't get. There's going to be houses maybe that we put offers on, get an inspection on, and then we decide we don't want them. But in the end, we always find a house. Like we always find a house. It always works out the way it's supposed to work out. And yes, it's going to be frustrating at some points, but mostly my job is to make sure that it's not. And so, you know, there's times, but for the most part, it always works out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that leads into my biggest thing is, what do you think your greatest strength is, and how has it helped you in life and real estate and everything else? What's your, of all your great qualities, because you have so many, what's your greatest strength?
Probably just being able to multitask and work under pressure. I've worked in some really high volume businesses, whether that's restaurant, phone sales, and now this. And so the one thing that I got used to is that change is constant. So the change doesn't fluster me. Being able to like, you know, be on a drive out to a showing, answer a call, switch gears, talk to that client about their deal, and then get back to that to the house, and then, you know, switch gears on that. I think that might be my biggest strength is just being able to kind of task or code switch. I don't know what they call it, but you know, just being able to have a lot of things going on up here, but make it look like everything's normal here.
Well, that's definitely a superpower. So how do you, you know, what do you think about when you dream about the future and what to expect? What do you envision? What are your goals and what are you most focused on right now in the future?
Yeah, I definitely would like to have a couple of more properties under my belt. I would like to like a different commercial property. I don't know. I think that I would like to continue with helping clients buy and sell real estate as well as build my portfolio, and just kind of see where it goes. You know, maybe I will be in real estate forever, but maybe this is just, you know, a part of the journey. Like you figure it out as you go. I don't like to, I know a big thing in real estate is setting goals, but for me, I don't really like to, oh, this is what I want to do. This is my goal. This is where I want to be, because life changes so fast. And if you have your mindset on this is where I'm going to go, but the path takes you this way, it can lead to disappointment. And I would rather just enjoy the ride.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Courtney, I can sit here and talk to you all day, and we're gonna have a follow up to this. But I know it's Friday, so it's your Monday as a real estate agent. And there's people out there that want to talk to you and see you and stuff like that. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to talk to us. Uh, but before we let you go, what should we have talked about that we did talk about today?
Um, Man, I don't know. I don't think I have anything.
Okay. Okay. Well, one thing for sure is this. If the people out there want to find you, and I know they do, because if you weren't looking for real estate in the San Antonio area, there's only one person I call, and that's Courtney Allison. How they get hold of you?
Well, I have Instagram, Facebook. Obviously, you can just reach out to me directly on my phone number, or email. I don't know if I should just rattle them
Yeah,
off,
what's your
but
phone number? Go ahead and say it.
yeah, my phone number is 512-826-7953. And my email, do you want my email or
Sure.
social media? Okay. My email is Courtney@exquisitesa.com.
And if you are watching this live instead of listening to us on the podcast channel, you saw that go across the lower third. So if you're looking to contact a great realtor in the San Antonio area, there's only one person I'd call, and that's Courtney Allison. Well, thanks for being with us today. I'm your host, David Wynn. I'm with the Mortgage Edge podcast, and we will see you later. Bye, guys.